Okay, so what I want to do is there are five questions. We can add furthermore questions to it. Basically, we are continuing on where we left on who am I. It is if somebody were to really contemplate. What is contemplation is about anupassana, actually. It's not vipassana, it is beyond the vipassana. When you really see what it is, you will get to see two fantastic things. Just like Vipassi Buddha did, or Gautama did, or anybody would do it, will come to a point which looks like a whirlpool effect. On one side is Vijnana, another side is Namarupa. Now, in the Mahanidana Sutta, Buddha gives clarity on what is Nama, what is Rupa, what is Namarupa, and what is Vijnana. Okay, I don't know whether it's easy for you to see it that way or not, but you will get to see that way. And if you get to see that way, you will get to see two things happening with you. Is what we call as conventional reality, whatever, just the convenience, just for convenience sake. Let's say I can't call this body, hey body, come here, body, then it looks weird. Better to name it as Vilas or whatever you want to name that as. Instead of Vilas is not looking good, I can call it as Anagarika Vilas. Now, what's the difference it made between Vilas and Anagarika Vilas is that it just added another something to Vilas. Now, what is Anagarika? Now, I will tell you in two ways, conventional and actual. That is awareness on one side and non-awareness on other side, or yoniso manasikara on one side and ayoniso manasikara on other side. So somebody were to ask me, what is anagarika? I would reply, reading some text and saying that one who has left his home. This creates furthermore question to the listener. But you are at your home, you have your wife, you have your son, and how can you say that you have left your home? Now, for that, I have to give certain explanation, and for that, he will ask certain more questions. Then, for that, I again answer with certain more explanation. So, this going forth, coming back, going forth, coming back, with an explanation and a question, an explanation and a question, and it leads nowhere, is a conceptual reality, because anagarika is a concept. It's not real. You cannot find, or I really cannot find, who is this anagarika. I could only say that when I was in Sri Lanka, or when I was talking to a Sri Lankan person, and he suggested me, you can keep this, and I felt very happy about it. It is something to do with Buddha teaching, and hence I have kept anagarika. Okay, sounds reasonable, but doesn't do anything, because it is still ayoniso manasikara. Now, here is where the fights happen, arguments happen, dispute happen, discussion happen, and it goes on and on and on without anybody stopping it, because it is conceptual. Then they would ask this question: what's the difference between Anagarika Dharmapala and Anagarika Vilas? Because Anagarika Dharmapala started the Mahabodhi Society. So, what have you done? Again, I had to give some explanation. And then they would ask me, look, people in Sri Lanka would put their name as Anagarika. I've never seen any Indian putting it. Are you then Sri Lankan? This is what it is all about. This is a Yoniso Manasikara. Yoniso is going back to the origin. Okay, it's a basic thing, basic, very basic, beginning. What is it in the beginning? So, awareness is going to the beginning, not going to the end, not going into the middle, going into the origin. Now, when I say I'm anagarika, my experience, now this is the question I'm going to take up. Who is it experience? My experience is, what is anagarika? It is from a word agara, house. There are 6 houses. Sight, like that, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. 6 houses. Or rather, one house with 6 windows. Or we can have one house with 6 rooms, fields, where eye can graze what it wants to graze, ear can graze what it wants to graze, like that. It requires food. Anagarika is a person who has removed the agara. Agara. Agara is the house. Anagara is not having a house. Who doesn't have a house? The eye doesn't have a house. The ear doesn't have a house. If I really experience this, that there is no gochara, like a cow going and grazing, I am not giving anything to graze there, and yet living in a family life, is anagarika. So I have gone to the origin. Yoniso. Am I mindful when my wife comes? Conventionally speaking, I am treating her as a wife, but there is no gochara as a wife. So there is no experience of wife. Yes, there is an experience of a human being coming. That is there. It's just another human being. Do I see her as a wife? It's a question I need to ask. If yes, then I come to the conventional. That means I'm still in ayoniso manasikar. If not, I am in yoniso manasikar. So if somebody comes and asks, like what Ari was there at my home, if he were to ask, Vilas, don't you have a wife? I can't say, I will give you yoniso manasikara way of talking. So this is this, and not required. So I can say, yes, I'm married and hence have a wife. I am married. Who is married? The mind is married. I have got nothing to do with marriage or with divorce. Either way, I don't have anything. Conventionally, I need to accept to the norm that if you are married, you call that lady as a wife. If not, I don't have a wife. Simple. There's no struggle in that. If this human being were to go away, what it should do to me? Nothing. I didn't bring her to lose her. She didn't bring me to lose. So neither I brought her nor she brought me. In that way, it is anagarik. It is yoniso manasika. So now I know Vilas is a concept. Vilas is not a reality. Vilas can exist as Vilas. A Vilas can exist as anagarika Vilas. And tomorrow he goes crazy and he will put some other name to it. But nothing happens to me as such. Only the passport will change. Only the documentation will change. But nothing changes in me. Actually, there's no change. What's the change? What's the difference between before marriage and after marriage? We try doing the same thing with another human being. That's it. It will work or it might not work. Only 2 things will happen. Nothing more than that. The struggle is to make it work. That is, I want really the wife being there, and she's not being there at all. It's a transaction. So the first question is, how can one say he or she is experiencing? He can experience only through conventional reality, nothing to do with actual reality. There's nothing to experience there. There is an experiencer with a vacant gaze, citta or vijnana. That vijnana which we have been talking has got nothing to do with sixth sense vijnana. It's just a witness to whatever is happening. It has got no thing to talk about. When the convention comes, the citta, which is also in the mind, takes the input and reproduces exactly what is required. And hence, in the Pena Pindupama Sutta, Buddha says, this guy is a magician. What is not there, he shows it being there. Isn't that true? Am I not feeling pretty happy about being anagarika? Because nobody has that kind of title, at least in 100-kilometer radius of my home. I've never heard anyone like that. Doesn't it make me feel special? It does. If it does, then ayonisa manasikara. And if somebody tells me, Vilas, you're not an anagarika, then it creates even more pain, because I always feel I'm anagarika. I love that name. So this, what is this? This is a formal name for a nominal form which truly doesn't exist, is sansar. Again, I repeat, anagarika not being there, it's a title. It's a formal name to designate someone. Self-designated as Vilas. Who has asked to give you a name called Vilas? Nobody. The parents gave the name. That's it. That's what in the Milinda Panha, he says that. Nagasena says that. This is given by my parents. I have got nothing to do with it. I can be called Nagasena, Singasena, this Sena, that Sena. It doesn't matter. How does it matter to me? Tomorrow you will ask me something. I will say yes. That's it. How does it matter? So, being in awareness means that I'm aware I'm not Vilas at any point in time. It's not about sitting meditation. That only then I will come to know I am aware of the breath. No. Awareness here is first and foremost, I don't have a name called as Vilas. It's a conventional name. So just to make things easy, just to communicate, just to talk, just to use a language or an expression to say what it is. So instead of saying 32 parts of the body, which becomes difficult, or saying 32 parts of the body, including the Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana, and also saying Patisamutpada cycle, also saying whatever you want to say, you packetize everything and call that as a kaya, collection. In Sanskrit and Pali, it's not body, it's a collection. It's a collection of something. So when I say iti imasmim kaye, kesa, loma, naka, danta, tacho, it means in this collection, what is collected? What have I collected? What has consciousness collected? Kesa, loma, naka, danta. Head hairs, body hairs, naka is nails, danta is teeth, tacho is skin, mamsam is flesh. Like that. It's a collection. In each one of them, you have anicca, dukkha, anatta. Can I call this nail as mine? No. So now who is experiencer? On whose experience I'm talking about? It's a conventional experience. In the citta, there is nothing to experience. No thing. When I say nothing, it means nothing. Now, this is the answer to the first question. Who is that who is experiencing? It's only the nama rupa which is experience. There is nobody else who can experience. Now, what's the role of the citta? To light it up. It just lights up. And the nama rupa is now experiencing. That's it. Nothing more to it. It's an interplay of nama rupa with vijnana, vijnana with nama rupa. It keeps on going in circle until unless I get the ability to break it open. It doesn't work. Yesterday, Ashutosh and I had met, and then he wanted to know about Nibbana. Before I go to the second question, I will tell you about Nibbana also. What is Nibbana and what is not Nibbana? Conceptualization is sansara. Nissarana is not there. Samsarana, going round and round and round and round with it. Because the concept is to go round. Nissarana is stopping that rounding, not going in circles. So we both were talking, and he had tea. So I said, what is Nibbana in tea? So I brought my the tea powder. What it is? Is there a tea in this? No. Like in the case of Aryu, he doesn't drink coffee or tea. So if we can come up with two things here, Aryu is a pious person, and those who drink tea are sinful people. Why? They're addicted to tea, whereas Aryu is not addicted to tea. That means Aryu has much better nibbana than anyone who is drinking tea. So now if we make Vilas as the teacher and Aryu as a student, teacher has a flaw or an addiction which Aryu doesn't have. In that case, Aryu becomes the teacher for Vilas. Why? Because he's addicted to tea. Now we can keep on fighting with this. Tea drinking is good or tea drinking is bad. Those who are on the favor of non-drinking tea, they'll say, look at Aryu, such a nice person. Forget all Aryu. You look at your own son. He doesn't drink tea or coffee. He has never tasted it in his life. That means you don't have ability to even stop a simple thing called tea. Forget you dropping anything else. And I would say, look, sir, I'm an anagami. What anagami? You can't even drop tea. Now, what should I answer? It's true. When I was watching Aryu, all the days he was there with us, he never had tea. I, Ashutosh, and Shreyas were drinking tea. He never asked. He never said, how does it taste? Can I have a little bit of it? Nothing. So, in that case, Aryu is a saint. And I am the sinner. That's what I can make out of. Why? Because Aryu doesn't drink tea and others drink tea. So that means they're getting intoxicated. So what is intoxication? One of the precept is broken. Look at Aryu. His precept is not broken. He doesn't. He's seeing people drinking tea, but he himself doesn't drink tea. Isn't that his nibbana? Unmoved. Yeah, Bhante Aryu only. Correct. It's true. He's not getting persuaded. He's not getting worked up. I need to drink tea. There's something in this tea. I need to drink tea. No, he doesn't. At that moment, the only difference between an arhat and aryu is arhat is aware of how tea is, and aryu is ignorant of tea. But both are same. Now, in the case of aryu, he has not had tea, or maybe he didn't like tea and he has left it, and coffee or any other drink, because he doesn't even take the usual American drinks like Coca-Cola and Pepsi and all these aerated drinks. So he is in that way staying in a place where he could get corrupted. Is fine. Is literally Nibbana, should be Nibbana. So now coming back to the subject of Nibbana, what it is. It means not getting attached to anything. No matter if it is happening in front of you. Shouldn't be getting attached. So yesterday, I brought the tea powder. Is tea in the tea powder? No, it's just a conventional truth. What you are seeing is just grains. Okay, and then is tea in the water? No, water is water. Should you boil the water? Yes. Now I put sugar. When I put sugar, what happens? Sugar gets absorbed in water. Can I find sugar separated out of water? No. Now, if I were to heat it, just the sugar and water, it becomes what? It evaporates. That means it gets into gaseous because I'm heating. Heat makes it gaseous. And where does it go? Into space. So where is water and sugar now? The space. So what happened to the tumbler with water? Evaporated. Now what happened to the tea powder then? I forgot to put the tea powder, so it evaporated. Now what's the difference I'm making? Putting the powder and it becomes dark. Now you see this fun. The tea taste per se is bitter. I need to add sugar to make it sweetened, and also to make it different, need to add milk. When I add all of this is sankhara. So now I can see paticca sama utpanna. In the Pachaya Sutta, Buddha says paticca samutpada is different than paticca samutpanna, and he says I will teach you both. Now when I come to paticca samutpanna, I can, with the yonisa manasikara, I can see what has happened. Tea powder by itself is separate. Sugar by itself is separate. Water by itself is separate. Milk by itself is separate. Only when I bring these things together, the magician, vinyas, starts. What does it do? It will first create a concept. So the tea is a concept. Now you can come up with story. Its tea drinking is very good. Tea drinking is very good. And some people will say tea drinking is very bad. Very dangerous to health. It has lead. And the tea drinkers will say, no, tannin doesn't have lead. You are misunderstood. And those who are against tea will come up with something else. And for tea will come something else. So this guy is also not in Nibbana. This guy is also not in Nibbana because they are fighting on the concept. But as such, there is no tea. Now, watch this fun. First is anicca. Is it nicca or anicca? When you make tea, it becomes anicca. Why? You can use the word impermanent, or you can say khayatena anicca. It keeps on diminishing. You sip one, The 10 sips are there, became 9. Second sip, 8. Third sip, 7. Fourth sip, 6. Like that. If it is anicca, it has a conditioned nature, or rather prepared nature. Is tea prepared or not prepared? It is definitely prepared. So we call it as tea preparation. Okay, great. Prepared. Third one. If anything is prepared and anything is anicca in nature, isn't it created or uncreated? Yes, it is created. But iccha samo utpanna. Okay, great. If that is true, now let us look at the four dhammas. There are four dhammas, will never change irrespective whether Tathagata exists or Tathagata doesn't exist, Buddha arises, doesn't arise, whatever it is. What four dhammas? Kaya dhamma, vaya dhamma, viraga dhamma, nirodha dhamma. In anything you take, anything, if you make a thing, this thing will have these four. So the tea thing has these four: Kaya, Vaya, Viraga, Nirodha. So what did I drink? No thing. Actually, I didn't had anything. If I know this, I never had anything in the first place. That is Nibbana. If I have this ayoniso manasikara, which says I had tea, now there is a problem. Why? My happiness is dependent on this tea. If the tea is good to taste on the tongue, and then I'm enjoying it. Enjoying what? The liquid. But as what? Tea. So the Jivha Vinyana is giving a wrong information. Is it giving a wrong information? No. It is giving only salt, sugar, and all that. But the mind has caught up with this dirty thing called as tea, which it wants to enjoy. It thinks it is enjoying that liquid. So the awareness bringing is to see things as they are, not as they are presented to be. So you have to cut out the tea. So if I want to de-addict myself, it's not about going to a de-addiction center or taking some tablets, or when tea is given, I will force myself not to take tea. No. It's seeing the tea in real sense. Then the mind will let go of it. Will it let go of it tomorrow morning? No. Keep on being aware. So you apply four principle what Buddha tells Ananda when he sees a girl. Ananda, don't see. Sir, I've seen. Don't talk. Sir, I've spoken. Don't touch. Sir, I've touched. Be mindful. Now we'll bring it to tea. Vilas, don't drink tea. Sir, I've already prepared tea. Yes, Sachin.
I've already touched. Be mindful now or while touching.
No, wait. I'm going to come to that. I'll give the tea example and then we'll come there. So, first thing, don't drink tea. Equals, don't see the girl or a woman. Sir, I've seen. That means you brought all of them together. What did you bring? Tea powder, water, sugar, milk. Be aware. That's being mindful. You brought these four things. Don't touch. Sir, I've already touched through my lips. Be mindful of what? There is no tea. What you're drinking is bitter, sweet, acid, blah, blah, blah. You never had tea. You never had tea. In the same way, when you see a woman or a girl, don't see means don't see the girl. When you see don't see the girl, don't see the girl in the way in your mind. See it of 32 parts of the body. No, sir, I missed it. Then don't talk. Because talking creates passion. They're already spoken. Don't touch. They're already touched. Now you be mindful that what you have touched is the 32 parts of a body. You have touched filth, nothing else. How? Goes in, comes down. Flush in, flush out. No matter how good looking she is, how beautiful she is, something goes in the mouth, exactly goes down. And you will not like what is coming down. Maybe you might like what is going in her mouth or in my mouth, but nobody would like to show what is down. The secret to this nibbida is seeing the down, not the up. This passion instantly comes. So when I drink tea, I'm putting liquid in the mouth, which will turn acid. So what am I drinking? Acid. What it was called as tea. Is acid good for you, for your stomach? No. Want to drink? Drink. Be mindful that you're drinking acid. Yes? Yes, Chirag. You're on mute. Mute. You are on mute.
Yeah, I was saying, don't you think by calling it acid, we're creating aversion, like mental aversion? I mean, yeah. What do you think?
Yes. Number one, you shouldn't be making like that. You should see the reality. The reality is they were not tea in the first place. So actually, if you have those grains too much, the tannin in that will increase your works with your bile, and it increases more, so you will have acidity, so you'll have acid reflux. So when I go to the doctor and ask him for some medicine, he will say, do you drink a lot of tea? I say yes. So stop drinking. So I need to instantly think, oh, if tea was good, why is a doctor asking me to stop? If something is good, nobody will ask you to stop. If something is bad, he will ask you to stop. It's not about bringing an aversion into it. It is about seeing what is real. Yes.
Yeah, this is a typical confusion between all platform when good and bad is coming in picture. And I always promote what you are saying is some people say make a resolution. Let's say cigarette quitting cigarette. Make a resolution, cigarette is bad. But I was always promoting do not quit the cigarette first. Create a version first and slowly let the cigarette go out.
Yes. See, even for tea, example, you drink tea with the awareness that's never been a tea in the first place. You see the preparation, sankhara. You're preparing everything. You have to go to the market, buy that thing, and now you don't know which tea is good. Black label, red label, blue label, this one, that one, three leaf, two leaves, center leaf, middle leaf, this, that, so much of concept. One second, Sachin. Organic leaf, inorganic leaf, produced in this kind of environment, produced in that kind of environment, scented, unscented, etc., etc. Yes, Sachin, go ahead.
But there is a trick in between this that also has given one example in which a guy instantly quit cigarette by reading a newspaper wherein which in a boat people were drinking the thread of the boat because there were no cigarette and he in his sense cigarette was there and he instantly quit. So when intensity of awareness is high, in a moment it quit happens. But in a moment quit doesn't happen means your intensity of awareness is not built.
Exactly. That is where we need to bring sati. And sati is related to sila. So how sati is related to sila is, if I have sila, it makes me get into that sati to distinguish between what is real and what is unreal. Cigarette is unreal because you have to prepare. So that means your happiness of dragging a cigarette, you have to prepare so much for it. Whereas you just sit and watch your breath, you get better cigarette kick than the cigarette itself. And it's free. Here you need to spend $1, at least 20 cents or 30 cents per cigarette. Marlboro. So, like when I was in the US and people, my colleagues used to buy and I used to watch. So, we used to go out and buy, go to the supermarket and buy it, and a carton of cigarette. And my friends used to ask me, when coming from US, can you get me a carton of cigarette? My whole job is to bring a carton of cigarette. Dunhill or this or that. Or you bring it in your bag and then the customs guy asks, you're carrying two, only one is allowed. Then you give him some bribe and saying that it's for my friend. Okay. And bring him, give him, wow, Marlboro, wow, this is great. But actually, his happiness is burning, right? He burns, one cigarette gone, second gone, third, and then in the end, there is no happiness, right? There ends it. Now, if he really sees, meaning really means becomes aware that it is paper with tobacco with some filter and a tar and some glue and other shit things inside there. Forget about being carcinogenic and all that. This much is enough. What am I smoking? Paper. Tobacco. I can eat the tobacco. Why in this role? And why with a filter? What's the filter? That means there's something harmful and they have put a filter. So start thinking that way. I can still smoke. But while smoking, what I need to do is to bring the awareness that this is paper, this is tobacco, this is this. Added together, I'm smoking. Let's say what happens. Oh, it's going here, it's going here, going here. Only smoke is going. Where is cigarette then? And it is coming out from the nose. Oh, where is the cigarette? Let me smoke again. Shit thing, it's not giving me anything. Done with it. At the very instant, because he became aware that there was no cigarette in the first place. It is named cigarette, conventional. But in real, he didn't smoke a single cigarette, a single one. So he felt this is rip-off. What is not there, I'm doing something. If it was real, I don't have to struggle so much. This is the dukkha. Dukkha satya, if you want to see, is in these unreal things where I cling on to it because it is real. But it's literally unreal. Like the tea example I gave. So the nibbana is, so rupa, citta, cetasika, nibbana. Paramattha is 4. Rupa, citta, cetasika is sansara. Why? You create it. Uncreated is nibbana. If you don't create anything at all, you are in permanent nibbana. You can be laughing. And the guy says, have you seen the Twin Towers? Which Twin Towers? Give me your Twin Towers, man. Now it's not there. It was there, right? It was so nice. I used to work on the 14th floor. He said, now if I shake him up, he's going to get upset. You say, yeah, you 14th floor, you were there? Oh man, I couldn't really work in that floor. There ends the matter, right? In his mind is a twin tower, but actually there's no twin tower. What is there is mud and cement, nothing else. What else is the twin tower? If that was not true, why were the people running? They were running and it just came down and without a trace. And that's it. There ends it. There ended the story of Twin Towers, World Trade Center. Gone. So anything can go because it is unreal. Everything built on the unreal foundation will go. Anything built on the real foundation will stay. Nibbana is that one which is not unreal, one which is real. So anything that is a conceptual is unreal. Now, what is the second one? Out of body experience. Now, we ended about the experience. So now I don't have to go back. So whenever somebody says experiencing something, he is experiencing in his nama and rupa, simpa, with vijnana giving that energy. That is, call it citta, call it vijnana, call it by consciousness, whatever. It will give you that experience through the six senses. And then you will say, I experience coffee. What a coffee, I'm telling you. Starbucks is beautiful. And that is indeed, yes. While I was in Seattle, the half of the time we have spent in Starbucks because Seattle has Starbucks. So every time we want to have a meeting, either go to the Space Needle, that one spot in Seattle, or go to Starbucks. That's it. And our office was very near. We just go there, have a fun. Actually, our other office was in Kirkland. So from there, it's hardly 7 miles, around 5 miles. Just go and drink. Now, this is the conceptual reality. Experience means six senses with nama rupa. Any questions before I go to the next one? No questions? Good. Everybody understood. Let's go to the next one. What is out of body experience? And what is experience? You have understood. Now you should be clear for you to understand what is out of body experience. I'll give you certain illustrations apart from my own experience so that it becomes easy. In many operation theaters, and you could see it on the web also, there are people who recollect their operation while in anesthesia. Now, first and foremost, you need to understand the body consciousness, that is kayancha paticca pottabbecha uppajjati kaya vinyanam. That people, like I said in the last one, that we forget about the body because we are so much engrossed in chakuncha paticca rupecha uppajjati chakku vinyanam, and we will go by the grammar also. Like Ari used to tell me, Vilas, you have left the cha there. Chakuncha paticca rupecha uppajjati chakku vinyanam. She used to tell me, Vilas, everything is right. The cha you have left. Okay, excellent. I will not. So chakuncha paticca rupecha uppajjati chakku vinyanam. And then what does it do? Nothing. Why? Because it's concept. But if I really observe the body, when you take shower, you are not aware of the shower. Let's go to the washroom, undress yourself, put some water on your head, take some soap, rub everywhere, take a towel, again rub everywhere, come out, wear dress, and you're done. Have you ever observed that when you're putting the water on the head, only the head has consciousness and nowhere else? And when the water starts dripping everywhere, then the consciousness starts. And water leaves, consciousness is gone. Again the water falls, again the same thing. Again the water falls, again the same thing. When you're rubbing, Only in that place you will feel conscious experience. Other places, no. Looking at this, the medical science, what they did, they found out there's a way of snubbing the conscious experience in the body called as anesthesia. So if you want to numb that part of the body, you just have to give that injection. Within minutes, the consciousness is cut off. Whose consciousness? Not your consciousness. Kayancha paticcha pottabhecha uppajjati kaya vinyanam. That is cut off from that part of the body, not the whole body, from that part of the body. Now, when that happens, and you give enough quantity in such a way that the entire place is paralyzed, in the sense there can't be anything called as consciousness. Now you can cut open it like a vegetable. And especially when they try cutting open heart for a heart transplant or for doing open heart surgery, not the stent, the open heart surgery. The citta is there in the heart, comes out like an astral travel. And now it can see its own body without attachment. Now you might say that person is dead. No. Why? Ayu is there. Don't forget this. Usma is there. Don't forget that. That means the prana is there, the ayu is there, and hence this vinyana, consciousness, can stay. Now, heart is beating because it's physical. Why? It has physical consciousness. It's got nothing to do with you being there. The you has got ejected, but since it is connected to nama rupa, it's able to experience. Now, all the time, the citta wants to eject out. All the time. But it is bound by the karma, which is the nama rupa, basically. So, in the Gandhabba, Kamajakaya, Chittajakaya, Utujakaya, Karjakaya, there are 4 kaya, collection. Kamajakaya is the entire karma it has done from the beginning till date. Chittajakaya is the light. Utujakaya is the environment with which it has to stay. And Karajakaya is the food. And these 4 is Gandhabba. So generally, when they touch the heart, the chitta, that is Hadayavattu, what is called, comes out. And it waits. And when it waits, it can see everything. It can see the person who is working on that. It can see what is happening with its body. It can see every damn thing. And when they finish that stitching and everything, and then they put completion, it jumps back. And when he opens up the eyes, tells the doctor, "Doctor, I saw entirely what you did." The doctor is shocked. "What did you see?" "I saw you taking out a tumor. I saw 7 bottles of blood. I saw the..." Doctor is shocked. "No, we had paralyzed you." "I don't know, doctor, but I was able to see everything." Why? Because chitta's usual thing is to come out. It's pure and bright. You can't hold it. Meaning you cannot be held. So you have to come out. But you are held by karma. So you are locked. So the process of Buddha Dhamma is to relieve the chitta from re-becoming, not about enjoyment, not about suffering, about taking another birth, which is a continuation of the same thing. So, just like that, in 95, when I was sleeping, this same Nama Rupa with Vijnana came out. And I'm watching it from the ceiling. And I'm seeing the ceiling. I'm seeing the body, both. After a while, I went to a place where I was welcomed, meaning again Nama Rupa with Vijnana. And it was such a peaceful state. One second, Sachin, I'll give you a chance, then you can ask. Otherwise, this flow will drop. It was a very peaceful place. It is 95. And that at the time when I started, that's something else there. And I want to land in the same place where I was so peaceful. And I asked this person, can I stay here? He said, no, you're not eligible for it. And then I came to the body. And I told my mother, what happened? She said, you keep on doing something or the other. So you had a hallucinating experience. I said, yeah. But that day it changed my way of thinking because I wanted to search that place. Only in 2015 I was able to experience that, knowing, and I could experience again in 2019, but not ever since. So I know where I went, that much I know. And I also know where I would go if I were to die right this moment. Meaning, if I were to come out of the body like this, I know where I'm going to land. So there's no fear of death, so far as it goes now. So the Nama Rupa, as long as that box exists, the Vijnana is not relieved. So who am I is Nama Rupa. But who is powering on the Nama Rupa is the Vijnana. Can I remove the Vijnana? No. Unless you cut the Nama Rupa, you cannot cut the Vijnana. The Buddha Dhamma is all about ending the defilements in such a way that the Nama Rupa will get no more power. And hence, no more rebirth. Yes, Sachin, you had raised your hand.
So comparing that with this bathroom experience, we will do later, right? But
Yes.
my question is, when you say Hadaya came out, you mean Vijnana plus Nama Rupa came out, right?
Yes. That is where
So
Hadayavattu is a seat of the mind. So when we say the mind, it includes both.
it includes both. So
Along with the six senses.
along with the six Prasada Rupa. Okay.
Yes. So you shouldn't forget that. And even in the Chula Shunyata Sutta, he says, what is that remains? The Jivitindriya along with the six senses. And the Jivitindriya includes all of this.
So actually you are saying Gandhabba came out, right?
Yes, Gandhabba came out. That's the reason I brought Gandhabba.
Because only Hadayavattu cannot come out.
No.
It will come out with all its...
all the four things will come out. Yes, Sariu.
I have a question. You don't have to answer if it's not relevant. But I'm wondering, so then in the previous session, you said Ayu, Usma, and all that, right? So Ayu is like a battery, and Usma is like circuit and all that. But I'm wondering, this Gandhabba, does it have a special tie to this particular body? Let's say there's a Gandhabba that's also nearby, and this body is functional in its all shape. Can this one also take this body?
Yes,
Or
yes, there is. So, good question. It's not irrelevant. It is very much relevant. Good one. So, can somebody possess another body? Yes, can. Okay. There is a person called Rampa. I had not, last time when I spoke to you, I could not really remember his name. Name is Rampa. Search for Rampa. Okay. Rampa. He is a Buddhist, Tibetan Buddhist, stands up in an Englishman's body who's dying. And he narrates all his experience. So he's a Westerner. He's from London. Who? Not Rampa. That body is from London. But he takes possession of this dying person.
In fact, it is happening now also in Himalayas. People are doing that, and one army man has seen that in front of him. Someone was doing that.
Yeah. There's a ritual to shift your consciousness or the Nama Rupa into some other body. You can do that. And in Shankaracharya had done that. It's called Parakaya Pravesha, entering into another body. And you can do that. So if you read Rampa, Rampa, search, you'll get, he has written books, but many of his description are nothing to do with Buddha Dhamma, but it is interesting read. Okay. Lopsang Rampa. Yeah, Chirag, good. Thank you. Okay. He's a Tibetan and he narrates his journey from England all the way to Tibet, where he is crucified, he is done, Chinese have done a lot of things to him. Okay. And he writes, he narrates his experience. Okay, it's possible. Yes.
Yeah, but I guess, like, do you, as the owner of this body, do you have a special ownership of it? Let's say someone
No.
robs it.
It's
or-
no, it's like giving your key to someone. So there are 9 holes, and even Buddha talks about 9 apertures. 9 holes.
Robbing cannot be possible there. It's not possible to rob. The the soul of the body should either allow you or it has already left.
Yeah, if it's left out and then someone can enter. Right?
Yes, it
And
can.
then also
It's like a
Not only if left out. If it surrenders to you willingly, then it's also possible.
okay. But I think, Vilas, you said this Gandapa before. It has the exact shape of this body, right? But a different Gandapa will have a different shape and all that.
No,
And
no, no.
What if
What
it's
happens? What happens here? No, what happens here? Gandhabba has no body, basically. Okay. Now, when it enters into a body, it has to realign itself to that body. Okay.
It's very subtle material.
Yes, it's subtle material, right? So that's the case. That's being the case. If the 9 apertures are open, in that even one aperture is open, and if that Gandhabba sitting somewhere, another Gandhabba sitting somewhere, where to have a liking to that body, it can enter into that body if it's open. Yeah, Sachin, you finish.
Sachin.
And also, a lot of ghost stories are there, right? Ghost entering into a body. That means even two Gandhavas staying together, even by force. Not only liking, if it's a fear, if you have fear of ghost, also ghost can enter you.
No, what
Right?
happens here is that I will tell you how that happens after this. That's not exactly what happens. Yes, go ahead. Yes, Adi.
So yeah, I was curious about Sachin's similar because some people can allow their body to be possessed, and I was thinking, can a preta get your body or?
And
They're different realms.
two Gandhabba in one body. Two Gandhabba in one
Yeah.
body.
So what actually happens here? There is an influencing factor. So we're now coming out of this. Okay. So whatever we discussed, we are taking a detour. Okay. So basically, what is mind? Mind has 3 components. One is feeling, perception, and sankhara preparation. Okay. It has 6 senses. To sense. That's the reason it's called as sense perception. You perceive through senses. Now, the original thing, citta, has nothing to do with anyone or anything. There's no thing, right? Now, if you were to ask a question, is it absolute or non-absolute, is another problem. So Buddha never talks about this vijnana at all. His only thing is about 6 vijnanas. Now that we are talking about nama, rupa and vijnana, we are coming into this, so don't get confused. Now, just like I go to an Apple store, I get influenced by advertisement. iPhone 15 with blah 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 blah, 999. And if you trade off your earlier iPhone 13, you'll get $200 off. So $799. Deal. But if I were to buy in Texas, it's actually $656. I have a friend there, so let me ask my friend to buy it. Why? Because save money. Influence. Because that's where the happiness is, in influencing. In the same way, can beings influence you? You're thinking, yes, it can, and that's called as possession. It possesses. And that means to say, there can be good beings and bad beings. It depends on your mentality, like what Sachin was saying. If you have fear of ghost, you're basically saying, I need that kind of mentality. Hey, you come, I want you. Now, what happens is you require two things to entertain a ghost. One is darkness and one is depression. Otherwise, no ghost can enter into you. If you are very strong, that's the reason they say mentally strong. What is mentally strong? Your perception is such that you only believe in something supernormal. Let us say,
Yeah, those who don't believe in ghosts, those who says I don't believe ghosts exist, will never experience it.
yeah, they cannot because they don't have a condition. See, supernormal, paranormal, two activities. Supernormal means you believe in some God, which makes you lose belief in paranormal activity. What is paranormal? Unusual activity. What is unusual? In darkness, when there is light, something is moving. Some energy is moving. Okay. And all ghost means the 5 aggregate, not the 5 aggregates as per se, 5 aggregates with 5 elements are going around. Gandhabba. Gandhabba. They're going around. You don't know what it is. Can't they go around? They can. What else? Where else they go? They're going around. Wait, Arif. Now, when they are going around, they are in search for what? The search of home or food or whatever. If I create a condition, they cannot enter into my body, but they can influence me to do those actions which in a normal way I wouldn't have done it. This is one part. Second part, I am weaker. And that Gandhabba is stronger. It can share the same body. So now sometimes I am doing it, sometimes it is doing it. Like in certain Vedanta classes, I had one, say, Gandhabba. We will take that. Okay. One fine day in the year 2014, I had quit the job.
Park experience, no? Park you were working.
Yeah, park. So that is the same Gandhabba. Now, 2014, I quit the job in the year 2013, and then I started jogging and doing all my funny things which I wanted to do. Anyway, I wanted to be a mountaineer. So that was my dream. I wanted to climb Everest. I had got obsessed with Everest. So even I wanted to do a mountaineering course. And then I was thinking so I used to jog and all that. So from my home to the best of the park is around 12 kilometers, something like 7 miles. Go there at 4 o'clock. My wife used to say that don't go at 4 o'clock. I used to get up at 3:30 and take my car, go there, park the car, start jogging. One day, I heard a voice. Vivid, don't turn back, but I can help you in spirituality if you allow me to do. I was thinking and thinking and thinking. He said, "Oh, how much do you think?" I thought that I'm hallucinating. Then I started doing something. He's saying, "Look, no matter how much you do, you can't escape me. You have to either give me an answer yes or no." So I did one big round and I started looking at some female. He's asking me, without my permission, how can you look at this female? Did I ask you to see? I said, there's no voice coming outside. So please don't take it in that way. I'm hearing. There's no person speaking. I'm hearing. So I'm going. Then I said, I need time to think. Meaning I'm saying to myself, not that I'm saying to him. Okay. Then it went away. That voices went away. Next day, to try out, this time I was excited. What happened yesterday, will it happen again? And here is the weakness of mind. That's a weakness. I went in anticipation. And this guy was in the tree.
Yeah, you open a window.
I opened the window for him. So then he started coming along, and I could feel there's some touching kind happening across my body. And it brought in shivers, actually, early in the morning. This started happening. He said, I'll teach you Vedanta. I'm a Vedanta master. I said, okay. And it is true. He used to give me experiences which I never ever had. So I wanted a Kundalini experience. Okay. I was in Abu Dhabi, 2015. So this guy had followed. So he held my hands and legs. I'm not able to move my body. And I'm getting lights and all kind of things. And he's saying that, enjoy. After a while, I had a shiver. I started fearing. What is this guy trying to do to me? Because now he's all over me. And scared. He says that, why are you scared? I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm not doing any harm to you. You wanted experiences, I'm giving you experience. Then it went on. Like this, ordeals. Yes, yes.
So whole 1 year he was with you?
No, till August 2021.
How many months?
How many years? 2014 to August 2021.
Oh, whenever you call, he comes.
He's there. He used to be there along with me.
So all your knowledge is his knowledge.
Yes, on Vedanta. That's 100% true. And he has taught me so nicely. I wouldn't have a better teacher than him. I don't know who he is. In July of 2021, one day after the class, I used to do this to the ABB group. So I told him, sir, I have a request. He said, yes. Look, you're teaching me so much. I appreciate. But what if the day you go away and I have no knowledge of anything? Because it went to an extent of changing voice. And he used to change the voice. He used to say that, Vilas, you give me a body, I will talk. So I am sitting and I'm seeing somebody is using me. So I could see two people, like I am and that one. Both are Nama Rupa, right? So now you have fun.
In medical term, it is split personality kind of thing. Split personality. In medical term, it is split personality.
Yes, split personality. So
It's
schizophrenia. Schizo. So I became schizo. I used to start the class at 8 o'clock. Sorry, 8:30. 8:20. I know he's there in the body. Today I will teach this. You know, I used to open the book.
You see that he's in the body and out the body body.
Yes, I see. I used to open the book. Just the book like this. The whole information is there within seconds. He used to say, "What lousy are you talking? That's not how it is." So I have two people now. One I'm talking, one he's talking. Okay, then I said, "Sir, you only do it." And after that, I had to listen to the video myself because I don't know what did I speak. One shloka, just one shloka. What an explanation. I have never heard anybody explaining in that way. I have to feel, wow. If I read the book myself, nothing I'm getting out of it. The same book. 2 hours back, he spoke. And now I read, that guy is not there. And he used to laugh. You think you can get to Vedanta in a day? Sir, you're. So I started calling him Guru. Guru, how can you do like this to me? No, I'm teaching you. I said, where are you teaching me? You're using me. Yes, go ahead.
So I'm curious, in this case, when you're experiencing both of them, are you experiencing through this Namarupa and Vijnana, or are you
No,
experiencing?
at that time I didn't have so much of thing. So I can't really say. Because I only know that somebody is there with me all the time. Okay. If I had so much of knowledge of Namarupa, Vijnana, Namarupa, it would have been different. Yes, go ahead.
So initially it begins with influencing and then you started sharing the body.
Yes. Yes. So initially I used to hear and he used to tell me something and I used to come back, open the Bhagavad Gita and read. And then he used to say that, no, not this. Go to the 8th chapter. 8th chapter. Keep it like this. Start looking at it. Whole information is there. Hardly takes 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes. It's like somebody dumping it on you. And then he says, tomorrow morning, by this time, you be ready. I'll ask you a question. So now I have an assignment to complete. Yes, Ari.
I'm curious about another case because there's these rituals where people give up their body so their relatives can visit and they can see and talk to them, right? So I guess in that case, I think Sachin said something like, if you surrender.
Yes,
I guess
if you
in that
surrender,
case,
yes.
he may not have exit the body, but he surrendered. He weakened his vijnana so much, and then that one is like entering, and he's
Yes,
just
exactly. That's right.
in your case, you're surrendered to him, and it's the
Yes,
same thing.
yes. So then I used to talk about Buddha Dhamma as it is. He never used to bother. He said, what are you talking? Why Buddha of all the people? I said, you Vedanta, you want to see, our agreement is you are giving me Vedanta. Right. That's fair with me. Give me as much Vedanta as you want. But my teacher, if you were to ask me, is Buddha. That will not change. No matter whether you want to leave me and go or whatever. So we had this argument one day saying that, look, so much in Shankaracharya. I said, yes, I know Shankaracharya is great, but still that doesn't change my faith to Buddha. No matter what you do. I have never seen somebody so strong. Okay, now you're saying it. Enjoy. But his teaching is very good. So in July, I think somewhere first to second week of July, I told him, sir, you've been with me for these many years. I don't even know how to give you Guru Dakshina because you are disembodied person. He said, do one thing. You understand Vedanta fully. That's my blessing to you. I said, yes, sir. I will do it. And I will never talk ill about Shankaracharya. That's my promise to you. Never ever. But If you ask me, who is your teacher? It won't be Shankaracharya. It will be Buddha. That you shouldn't try influencing. You have given me enough comparisons and everything you've done. Don't you agree there's a gap between the last step? Yes, there is. But aren't you a yogi? Yes, I am. So now, if you are a yogi, why are you in search? What are you in search for? And he said, you see, there are so many things you might not understand. That there is a waiting period. And I'm here to end my waiting period. So I'm trying to help you because you have that ability. And that's the reason I'm associated with you. So I told him, sir, one small favor. You leave me alone. You can bless me from outside also, right? He said, yes. You correct me if I'm wrong on Vedanta. I will always seek your help. But leave this body so that I can grow. And whatever you taught me on Vedanta, it's all yours, it's not mine. So I will learn. He said, you have learned. And it's good. Put that a student has learned from the teacher. And he said, okay, tomorrow morning, I will not trouble you. I said, okay, thank you. And from that day, I have never seen. And the voice has not changed. Otherwise, it used to change. There are a lot of videos. I have a Vedanta channel. On that, the voice has changed. Yes.
I'm wondering, because recently you've been saying where Vedanta ends, that's Buddha Dhamma starts, right? I wonder, back then, do you have the same understanding?
Yes.
And if you were to share it with him, is he open
I have
to...
shared. I have shared.
Yeah.
He is a very staunch Vedantic, nice person. I have never seen anyone like that in my life, in my entire life. I've never seen a guru of that caliber who knows in and out of Vedanta. You name
But
it.
Gaddaba, which do not have their own body, they cannot learn. They can only teach. Right?
They can only teach, yes.
They cannot learn. Even if what Vilas says, he cannot understand.
Oh, really? Why not?
Because he don't have those five faculty, no, ready, new brain.
I've been
Grasp.
speaking to him. See, I've been speaking to him, but he can't really get it. He will speak what he knows.
For to learn new thing, he need his own body.
Yeah, he needs to come back. So that's what he was saying to me. I have a waiting period. So I want to use it in a best way. And you are a best person for it because I want to download it to someone who is capable and you are capable. You can hold it. I said, so thankful, sir. I really feel blessed. But when I said it, he took it.
I want someone to come help me experience.
So one day what happened? When I was doing the class, I told this to the guys who were there in the class. So there was this person called Bhatt, which Aryu knows it because he used to also attend Vedanta classes. Okay. And then he asked me a question. Can you send your teacher to me? I said yes. And I willed it to my teacher. Look, one of the student wants you. And he felt something. He was shaken away. He said, something happened to me. I don't know. I'm feeling scared. And he came back and I asked him, what did you do to him? He said, I just played around with him. He's not that good. In 5 minutes, he shook him off. And in the office, he told the person whom you sent, I felt it, but I couldn't take it. Okay, anyway, so this can happen. And this has happened to me. So for how many years? 2014 to 2017, 21 is 7 years. Yes. Yes, Aryu.
Do you think Because let's say, just like you cannot be in the Deva realm and take a Deva body, right? I wonder, this kind of controlling the body, does it only happen if you're within the same realm, or even, let's say, a Preta can control your body in that way as well?
It can happen. I have no idea of that. If some Preta, I'm able to talk to them in the near future, or to some Deva, then I can tell you exactly how that was. Only the experience I have is this person, that too is a disembodied. So I couldn't see him even with an astral body. Maybe I don't have the ability. He told me once, your astral thing is yet to be developed. If you can see that, if you can develop it, you can see me.
But if you were to guess, he would be of human Baba.
What's that? He would be in what?
Human Baba.
Yes.
He would have a Baba of human.
Yes. So he had in fact told me in 2016 or 17, saying that to develop your astral travel. What is human bhava? Chirag, it's like this. There is, let's say, you are supposed to stay for 80,000 years as a human being, and your lifespan is cut because of various conditions to 100 years. So then you have to undergo this torture for another 800 years. That is the bhava. And jati is the birth. So because after 100 the body cannot sustain, you again take a human birth. Like in my case, since I know one of my past life, 726 common era, or AD we were to talk about. Now today we are talking about 2023. We take it is around 1300 years, right? So that is the jati we are talking about. And now still I continued as a human, let's say. Out of 80,000 years, only 1300 has passed. Still a long way to go. Yes, Sachin.
But Deva and Preta can also take over human body, right?
Anybody can take anything. See that only the condition has to match. So that's the reason there is one sutta from Sakka, Indra. He says, I go and meet lot of people in their meditative trance. They see me, and instead of teaching something to me, they ask me, can you teach me something?
3 and 21, no?
So I have never found a yogi with whom I can learn except you. Is what he tells the Buddha. Because when I go, they can see me. They're seeing me in their meditation. That's what even this guru was saying. You need to develop it. But if you develop it, you can see me. What you're saying, disembodied, I'm not disembodied. I'm having a body, but you can't see it as yet. So you have to develop that ability. Then I and you can be sitting next to each other and talking. You're thinking I'm in space. No, I'm sitting next to you. A very funny experience. Or rather, shrieking experience, not funny. But whatever Vedanta I learnt, all credit to him. He taught me perfect. Nothing, and even the shloka chanting, he used to say, so good, better it. So good, better it. It's not the way. Chant it in this way. And the voice, how you should control the breath, chanting. Excellent. I did a good job by asking him to join me. But later I used to feel that if some other person would have entered, and what would have happened to me? I used to always feel it. I had some other. But then I also understood, through him only I understood, nobody can enter like that. It is, they will, you and he, or you and that has to match. The mentality has to match, and then only it works. Otherwise it doesn't. It's not that somebody can take you home. Not possible. Either you have to welcome, or you both become so friendly that you don't, that, have you shared my home? To be honest, right? He came, he shared the room, staying here. which means the same, right? What's the difference there? It's the same. He's having body, so I don't feel anything, but he is actually a preta, to be honest. Without the body, he is that only, right? What difference does it make? And he was here, and we were making him make sure that everything is taken care. Guest, right? Yeah. So didn't he share every resource in this room where I'm talking? Yes, he has. Okay, so we'll take the other questions tomorrow. So we only had 2. So the remaining 3 are there.
What are the other 2? 3?
There are, see, we are still.
Okay, I will read it, but I don't know. I'll just speak out my question. Okay, maybe we'll take it tomorrow. My question is maybe not listed there. That's why. So we will compare also this and bathroom experience that is pending. And another question is this 3 information. Now I always call it metadata. In previous discussion also metadata. 3 metadata. One is this is my past life. Second is time. How precisely you guys can tell time, because you will also tell 800 back I was there, right? So what? See, the time is human construction, right? Year 2019, year 2020, 1 year is 365 days. This all is our construction. How you can calculate that 800 years? That is second thing.
One second. That answer is there in the Uposatha Sutta. AN 3.71.
Yeah, anyway, I will not read. I need your assistance. AN 3.
71.
So time, it will answer about time, you mean to say.
At least you'll get an idea of that.
Okay. And third question is, on what page you can discriminate? I have the answer, but on what page discriminate you can say that it is not a dream or hallucination?
Good question. Let's keep it tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll start with that tomorrow.
Okay.
How do you know it's not a hallucination? What makes you feel you're not hallucinating? Or how do you know you're not schizo? Because it is actually schizo, honestly. You start imagining something which really doesn't exist. How can you differentiate it? How do you come to know that you're not a schizo? Yes, Hari.
I guess in the typical schizo patients, their energy level is so low, so they attract these hellish beings, and they're experiencing those.
Okay, anyway, let's call it a day. Today, too much of information. I don't know. Matt has become totally silent. Gone above his head or whatever.
My understanding to that is, I am aware that I am will not be there in hallucination.
Yes, that's correct. He is already in Nibbana. Yes, Matt.
The even more weird thing is Chirac went silent. Yeah.
Too many new things for me, so I'm still, understanding.
For him to digest, it will take time. So let us allow him to digest. So we'll meet tomorrow with the hallucination. So Sachin, you again remind me the questions tomorrow.
Yeah, hallucination and time.
Yeah,
10:33.71.
If we get the hallucination, the time is also known. Okay, all right. So good night and good day to everyone. And for Matt, it is already pretty night. Already 12:30.
11:30.
It was 7.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye, Chirag.
Bye. Thank you.